Okay, good morning to all of you. So, we are observing the topic of the post harvest handling of agricultural crops to reduce the losses, right? So, already we have seen some points about this, but the recent situation of the fruits and the vegetables in India, particularly, and the importance of the fruits and vegetables in the human life. So we are knowing it is a main or the secondary nutrient for the human diet, which gives the essential vitamins, minerals which are required for the maintenance of the health. As we are knowing about the world record is there, the producers of these both fruits and vegetables are about 52 metric ton and near about 108 metric ton respectively after the China. So because China is having the maximum production of these fruits and these one. Second thing is there in relation to post harvest. So the loss of these, it is also having an important part, and generally how to reduce the loss in relation to quantity, quality, or the both. So it having the importance in the human consumption. Nowadays we are knowing, if we are going to consider the quantity loss is there, so as there is having the quantitative loss, that is physical substances, so reduction of the weight, then volume, then secondly, as there is having the in relation to qualitative, the loss of the quality in relation to nutrient, vitamins, appearance, then seed viability. Viability means able to germinate. So these are the commercial losses are there, starting from the field to up to the market or up to the home. Because if we are taking the material at home, it may decompose within 2 days, and because of due to there is no proper storage system or any some problem in the other parts are there. So this is very important. Then as we are knowing nowadays, the vegetables and fruits are generally, they shows having up to the 20 to 40% loss is there. And the reasons already we have seen: harvesting, handling, storage, transportation, and the market practices are there. Then some maturity indices are there. So indices means what? Suppose at the harvesting, at the ripening, or at the storage, so what are the characters are there? So here we are observing, as suppose the maturation of the fruits are there, so there is a maximum, it is this process, it is called as the picking, and picking influence on the storage life, it takes place very important, because the stock of the fruit, that is the flower pedicel, in the some fruits it is not removed, so therefore the maturity keeps as it is. So this is the first, and so it is called as the physiological, this maturity period is there, so we have to consider this one. Then secondly, as there is having the one part is there in physiological maturity, we have to refer the full ripening of the fruits, and its senescence is there. Harvest maturity is also important, because the at the time of the removal from the field, it is very important, and for the criteria of harvesting for fruits and vegetables are different. The good example, suppose mango is there, so it shows pale yellow color, right? Then starch content is main that time. It's TSS, that is the nutrient percentage is 12 to 14%. Banana is there, the plant shows the skin color, drying of leaves, and then they shows the upside down. The pulp ratio is showing the maximum starch content. If citrus is there, so it shows the break of the skin or the green to the orange, and so therefore there is a ratio of these content chemicals like sugar, acid ratio, TSS, total soluble solids are there, so they also shows the there is having the important character. Then grape is there. Grape shows the pale color, and the berries, unripe fruits are there. So we having the different varieties of grapes: Thompson Seedless, Bangalore Blue, Anabe Shahi. So they having the different TSS, total sugar. It is 18 to 20, 12 to 14, 14 to 60. Same thing for papaya plant. So it is if we are using the jelly, so it shows the important. Then time taken for the pollination in horticultural maturity. So as if there are some hybrid varieties are there, so pollination mechanism is also important in this one, because it later on effect on the its size of the fruit, then maturity of the fruit, then it shows the flavor, shape, then firmness of the fruit. So all these are depend on this one. So here the time of harvest for the different fruits are there. Suppose there is having the green pepper is there, so 45 to 55 days, red pepper 60 to 70 days, pumpkin 65 to 70 days, tomato 35 to 45 days. So like this one. So just we are observing what are the physiological characters also. In maturity of vegetables, we are knowing potato, then radish, carrot, cowpea, tomato, then watermelon, etc. So they are in the different types of the criteria. Suppose carrot is there, large enough and crispy, or the suppose tomato is there, seeds they are showing the sleeping type of the action is there, right? So the you remember this character. Then in harvesting and post harvest handling, we have two different factors are there. And then market preparation, pre-cooling, sorting, grading, packing, which are given in our syllabus. Then transportation. So what is pre-cooling? So pre-harvest practices like varietal improvement is there. So we have to consider this one. Different varieties nowadays are there, hybrid varieties. And for example, carrot, tomato is there, so high carotenoid content and vitamin A content. Onion, tomato is there, high TSS, total sugar, and longer shelf life. Then potato is there, so low sugar. Watermelon, high sugar content. So like this one, grape with high sugar content, ginger with less fiber. So these all characters are generally considered for the in the pre-harvest practical. Then in cultural practices, the proper nutrition, that is fertilizers to the crop, it is very important. Then irrigation is important. In the pre-harvest treatment, before chemical sprays on the fruits, vegetables to increase the shelf life, that is keeping quality. Then different fungicides, calcium chloride, biopesticides, they are to be used. The harvesting part is there. At maturity, we have to consider the storage life and the final fruit quality. So it is important for market, so it should be considered. So there are the different diseases are there, so we are observing the table. Then method of harvesting is also important, because nowadays it is mechanical and manual also. So by considering this, as per the type of vegetable, we have to avoid the mechanical injuries to the collecting material from the field. Then for market preparation, pre-cooling systems are important. Suppose nowadays we are knowing some vegetables for distance market, they are kept at the pre-cooling. Suppose mango, apple, banana, stone fruits are there, right? So all these they are generally kept in the pre-cooling. Then ripening process is also important. the use of the chemicals they are to be used. For example, respect to the for the polysaccharide hydrolysis and the role of the ethylene, etc. We are knowing bananas, the 500 ppm ethyl generally it is deep or the spray and keeping at 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, right? So you read it at a degree Celsius for the uniform ripening of banana. In market we are observing all bananas are in the same color, but they are not natural, they are done artificially matured. So secondly, sorting on and the grading is also important as per the size. Then so therefore for long days keeping, so use of the washing with washing, then wax coating and the grading is there. So it is generally used for the Nagpur region. The Mossambi is there, we are knowing. So for this one Mossambi it is to be used. In relation to this, nowadays the post harvest treatments are also there, so you go through it properly, how these conditions are there. Then nextly we are knowing about the system is there. So in the post harvest there is a gamma radiation, it is to be used for the onions to check the sprouting. Then vapor heat treatment, fumigation, use of biopesticide, it is also used. Then on the farm storage there is having the specifically low cost cool chambers, they are to be used for this one. Then in the packing system, the marketing of the fresh horticultural products are there, so they are directly there is a link between farmer and the or the producer and the consumers are there. Then traditional packings are used, for example bamboo baskets, wooden baskets are there. Then secondly there is having the bags are gunny bags are there, right? Kiltan म्हणतो आपण त्याला. For citrus and other fruits are there, vegetables are there, peas, beans, garlic, potato. So these gunny bags they are used. Transportation is also important, so long distance it is called as a truck garden. So these plants are the different. And secondly we having the different transportation systems are applied generally in the night period to avoid the drying is there. Then storage is there, so storage generally you see here the minimum temperature and maximum, so 1.7 to 3.3 30 degrees Celsius, or 12 to for banana. For apple it is less, then 0 to 1.7 for the grapes. For guava 8.3 to 10 degrees Celsius. Then there is when the RH is there, relative humidity with low temperature, so it shows the delay in the softening, senescence and the change in the quality. So all these characters are considered. Then operations during post harvest handling, these are the different. For the suppose the harvesting is there, so is important. Then secondly for cereals and pulses, their straws or the stalks are there, so we have to separate it properly and store it. Then fruit vegetables, there are the different types of the development of color days from the full bloom. So here degree of ripeness, tenderness, then vegetables and starch iodine rating, it is important, and the scientific reasons are important for the market. Then in the pre-harvest drying system we have to know about the cereals and pulses are there. Then there is the sorting and grading, packing. So sorting means what? Removal of the diseased plant parts, bruised old parts, rotten, bird eaten, or broken, they are removed. Therefore, to select the uniform and healthy products, grading based on the size and color before the packing. So is done before. Then packing should be in appropriate containers are there. Nowadays we are knowing for vegetable plastic carrots are there. So it keeps proper. Then transport system is also important. So proper packing, it helps for the good transport without damage. So this is the one part, and we have to handle the very smoothly, and generally loading and the unloading or handling after market, it is easier. And in the post harvest drying, we should know about the this part is there. So these are the all characters are there. Storage system is also the same. So to keep the proper it should be hygienic, that is without any contamination, effective. Then cold store condition, airtight, or the bins, they may be used for this one. Temperature, humidity is important. Avoid from the pest, rodents, molds, fungal types contamination. Processing also important, as we are knowing the rice moth generally seen to the rice grains are there. So it should be avoided. So all these examples are there. Lastly, in fruits and vegetables, the quantitative and qualitative losses are different. So peeling, that is removal of bark, trimming, washing, and blanching. Blanching, that is the boiling water treatment. It is used to kill or to become the unviable. Suppose some fungal spores are there. So all these characters are there. So you remember in this topic. In the next part, we will see in the next lecture. Okay. Have